everybody. Welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and I am your host, Xavia Fox.
Old. You would never be categorized as being old because now you can do the same thing that you were doing when you were young. So then therefore, that's the only difference. So don't lose that. And when you train, you can train to get stronger. I guarantee each and every one of my clients always will get stronger and faster. And it doesn't have to be like, it's not like you're trying to, run a race. It's just be faster than what you were before, and progress. So that's one of the main things as far as rectifying. And then setting up a goal, long term or short term, and knowing what you want to achieve in that time period. So now that ends the rectifying phase.
Okay.
Now, application, how to apply. You can start today. I'm pretty sure you can give out a bunch of things that a person can do right away to improve their health. Drinking water is one.
Oh yeah, that's the easiest one, probably.
Exactly. Eliminating.
But people are going to say, I don't like the way water tastes.
Fine. You can start out with doing sparkling water. Flavored water. Izzy's has a nice sparkling water. You can start out with putting a little fruit juice in your water. You can start out with drinking water, half the time. And then drinking whatever you were drinking the other half the time. The whole objective is to introduce it in your body. You might not like it, I like saying this and people look at me funny. I say to a crackhead, guess what? Only crack really tastes good. Exactly. So and when you start to if you're so used to a certain diet, sometimes only certain foods are going to seem appeasing at the time. Until you get it out of your system and let your taste bud turn on, you'll find each and every one of my clients that come through the door and say, oh, I don't like water. Okay, let's work out a little bit. Work out, get a little sweaty, body start asking for water. Oh, now water tastes good. Now, can I get some water? I want some more water.
Well, I drink a lot of water.
And you add it to, and it shows your skin. You got beautiful skin. Your skin shows. The vibrance in your eyes, it shows that water is essential. Your body is made of water. You cannot go through life without drinking water. But there's a lot of people, as you say, that don't drink water. So there's ways to implement that water into.
I talk to people and they have not drank water in days. But you know what? You can look at a person's skin and kind of tell.
I can look at. You can tell. You can tell a lot by looking at a person. Whether their kidney is working properly, whether their liver is functioning properly. There's so many things that your body gives indications that we overlook.
The eyes and the fingernails are huge.
In the colors. And the teeth. All these things are indication to tell the human body, hey, let's get it together and change, improve. So in that case, you just all you got to do is put some things to work, but you have to have a plan and make some better choices. The next thing is to shop for these live foods that I'm talking about. So I easily explain that foods with seeds in it. That should be first choice. And there are tons of foods with seeds that a person can name, but there are some that people do not know about. Even to this day, I know growing up on the west side of Chicago, I never had, I can't remember having a mango as a child.
Right, I didn't.
Whereas you could talk to other nationalities, they grow it in their backyard, staple. I never had avocado as a child.
I didn't either, but I did have it.
And even to this, so now I just introduced, avocados to my relatives. They never had it, and it's green, and so then therefore people shy away from it. But once you make that guacamole dish, or you put it in a taco, people's like, oh, I like this, and now I get the phone call, hey, you coming over here? Can you bring some of that? You guacamole, So there's a lot of things that we know, and I've had quite a few new fruits that I've never had before. Chamois, I want to make sure I'm saying that, chamois, yes. And if you ever go to Whole Foods, if they have chamois in season, it's CHERIMOYA, pick up one. It is the most exhilarating tasting fruit that you ever
chamois.
It's called, sometimes they call it a sugar apple. I think that may be the other name for it.
Okay.
Called chamois. Just pick it up. Next time I talk to you, I want to make sure that you say, I tried it, and you tell me what you say. So there's a lot of different things that are out there, you know, but you just got to plan. There's a lot of foods that we actually like to eat. We just don't plan to eat them, so we don't shop for them. So when we don't have the food at home, then guess what happens when you on the go and you say, man, I'm about to go home, I'm hungry, but there's nothing at home to eat. So what I'm going to do? Then you go and get some fast food. So you keep shooting yourself in the foot each and every time. If you plan, then you can have some of this food at home, and then if you know about recipes to utilize, then you can quickly whip up something. Because now that's the other issue. You got to be open to cooking. And that seems to be a lost talent.
I love to cook.
There are more men know how to cook than women. And that should not be the case.
I agree.
Everyone should have an equal ability to be able to feed themselves.
That's true.
And putting together, especially people of color, if we can take wasteful food and add some stuff to it and make it taste better.
You talking about chitlins?
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but any of that wasteful food that we call so. I understand. But if we can do that with wasteful food, I mean, this is food that was thrown out of the slave owner's home and given to the slaves because they didn't have any appreciation or respect for them, and we didn't have any choice. As slaves, they didn't have any choice, so they had to have survival mechanism. So they embraced it. But they made a twist to it. Now, if we can take that and make it taste good, what in the world we can do with good tasting food? That our ancestors eaten for thousands of years. We just need to know what they are. It's a shame that we don't know what they are. So once we get an identity about these foods, then I guarantee you that we traded herbs and spices and recipes like gold at a certain time period. So once we get those things and understand and not afraid to venture out and try new things, we'll find that we have much pleasure. So that's part of applying. Never skipping meals.
Now see, I'm bad at that now because I start editing and I will just get in there to get the show out on time and I'll forget that I haven't eaten.
Well, I tell you, one of the main things that I've experienced in clients that come through my doors is that those that have weight issues, each and every one of them have two things in common. Each and every one of them, guaranteed, they skip breakfast and they eat maybe once or twice a day.
And I don't skip breakfast because I love breakfast, but sometimes I'll eat once or twice a day. And I know that's bad. I know that I need my 6 meals to keep my metabolism going and actually burn fat. And I know that's why my body's holding on to it now because I'm so busy.
So that's where the planning comes in.
My focus is on something else.
Right. Now the other thing is reading and research, and I commend you because I notice you send a lot of things out as you do the research, is reading and research about different things because I think the more you know, then the more you can do. So I think we need to read more. You know, my website is a very informative website, Sherwood.com. Definitely have tips. It has knowledgeable information that a person can take and it's going to be changing. And as a matter of fact, I just finished my blog site. So that's Sherwood.com/blog, and there you'll be able to have more interactions, or I'll be able to have more interactions with people as they leave comments on different articles. So definitely, you know, we need to read. You know, I'm trying to make this a lot easier for people, so I'm gonna have videos, you know, to come, and this is a resource too, an excellent resource. But sharing the knowledge with another is one of the biggest things that I encourage everyone to do.
Definitely. And
applying. If you want to get somewhere in life, then share it. I get tired of having my clients say, hey, did you tell your girlfriend about this? No, they ain't going to be interested. This, that, other. You don't know. Let them know. Sometimes it's the motivation, sometimes that power in the back. Sometimes they want to know and they want to see, and because we don't share and talk about it, yeah, you're going to have dream snatchers. Yeah, you're going to have those naysayers. So what?
I've always felt like I have the responsibility, you know, that God blesses you to be a blessing. You're blessed to be a blessing to others. So once I get the knowledge of something that's going to help me, you know, whether it's health-wise, physically, financially, whatever, I always pass the information. Now, what they do with that information is on them.
It's on them. Right.
You know, but once I've shared it with you, then, you know.
And I always say, I even take a step further. I say, continue to share. Because it's like a person that has an addictive attitude. Let's say a person that have a drinking habit. You're never going to tell that person, hey, you need to stop drinking, slow down, and think that one time they're going to stop. You're going to have to be their support system and constantly remind them and being able to let them see that you don't have to drink in order to be able to. Yeah, right. But at least it might. I guess that's why then therefore I love what I'm doing.
Right.
And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because
Right.
it's like this is what I'm going to do each and every time. I'm going to constantly be in the person of faith to let them know. By the time I'm finished, I'm not going to give anyone any excuse for not being healthy, not living long, and not being vitality.
Matter of fact, I had a friend, because I haven't eaten pork in years, and I read a lot of stuff about pork and how our bodies have to create the toxin in order to digest it. So we really are breaking down our own bodies whenever we eat pork. And so I explained all of this, chemical reaction to people as to, because they think it's a religious thing, but it's not a religious thing. It's really just, you breaking down your body in order to eat pork. Why? Plus with all the sodium and stuff. So anyway, I explained all of this to a friend of mine as we were eating lunch one day, because he went and got me, I had some chicken, something or other. And he had this big, I'm from Milwaukee, we got Speed Queen, I think it is. He got this big pork thing, barbecue pork thing. He's sitting on this, and he's got like 2 girls that he really loves, right? And I said, that pork is not good for you. He said, it sure tastes good. I said, well, whenever you eat pork, blah, 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 I went through the whole thing.
Right.
And he said, He said, well, you just keep on with that. He said, because this tastes good. I said, yep. I said, well, when you break your body down and you're laying in the hospital, I hope that you tell your daughters that it was worth it. And then he looked at me and gave me this evil eye.
Yeah.
I said, I didn't really mean to go there, but I mean, that's what it boils down to.
It does, but you know what I found is that it's always in the approach. And one of the things that I tell or I encourage people that gains knowledge is not to become over abundant or over, what's the word I want to use? How you sometimes it seems like
Overwhelm people.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's easy to overwhelm people, especially when you first get that knowledge. It's like, man, this is just some good stuff. I can help somebody and say, and you just want to tell them and just tell them like it is. And people are not ready for it like that. They don't want the right in your face truth.
Not to take away their bacon.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is that I usually say I don't focus on that. I focus on the other aspect. Give power to the positive aspect of let's improve the foods that we do eat. God told us what to eat. Let's add more of that to our diet. And once you do that, then you'll find that people start to eliminate and see the bad stuff. Now, they ask, well, should you eat pork and why not should you eat pork? Then I usually say, hey, well, once again, the Creator knows better than I. And he said it's unclean. And that was the only reason he gave them back in the day. And if you look at the animal and you see his ways, he's a scavenger. All scavengers' jobs are to clean the earth and make it a beautiful place. Take in the waste, clean it up. You don't eat those animals. You don't eat the rats. You don't eat the vultures. You don't eat the catfish. You don't eat these are all scavengers, and their job is to eat all the waste, the dead animals, and they're unclean.
You know what? This guy, I ordered his whole nutrition program too. I can't remember his name, but he came to our church and he broke it down. He did it from a biblical standpoint as well, but he was into the whole nutrition thing, and he was a nutritionist, he was a scientist, he had all these certifications, degrees actually. And when he broke down that a lobster and a crab are no more than big roaches of the sea, he said their makeup is just like a roach. They have a hard outer it's a roach.
Yes.
That kind of changes your whole thought process.
It does,
but
I tell you, it's so easy to socialize us as humans that someone is just, it's hard to break that. People find it hard.
They got the
They
legs.
don't want to. Oh man.
Oh, that's just gross.
So usually I just don't talk too much about it. I tell them, hey, listen. First and foremost, I say at least don't eat scavengers, or cut back on it, but don't eat them because it's unclean. And definitely, I tell everyone, do not eat a dead carcass first thing in the morning. You wake up, your body just cleansed itself. Why are you going to clog up your arteries and your system by putting a dead piece of meat in your system? When it first, it went through a cleansing phase. When you wake up, it wants to eliminate. It wants to remove bowels or it wants to urinate waste. Why would you wake up and clog it up the first thing in the morning? No, give it something with vibrance.
Oatmeal with turkey sausage is not good?
No, oatmeal with turkey sausage is not on my list. list of foods. This is such a great program, so we will have to talk more about that one.
Well, I like my oatmeal.
I'm not really an oatmeal person, but I like that. I say that I don't really see the nutritional benefit. They say, hey, fiber is not enough fiber to talk about in oatmeal, and it's really down the bottom of the list as far as alkaline grains. Like I said, you got millet, teff, quinoa, spelt, amaranth. You know, there's a lot of grains that have a higher vibration, way higher than oats. And there's a reason why oats is popular here. Anything that I say in America that's massively produced and grows quickly, I have to say no to, because there's a reason why it grows quickly. And they use a lot of different type of chemicals to be able to grow anything quick. Corn, wheat, all this, you can mass produce it and get a gain from it. They don't care what how they're growing it. They don't care if the ground has nutrients in it. The whole thing about eating live food is that it's supposed to gather up the nutrients from the ground, put it in the food, and then you eat it to get the nutrients. If the ground doesn't have the nutrients, then that means that food is not gathering up any nutrients. And that's why you can actually taste some food and you take a bite of an apple, and it's like, this don't really taste that good, because there's no nutrition in it. Because the ground that it was grown on it wasn't taken care, it wasn't nourished like it should. So those are aspects that we need to keep in mind. And that gives us to the last point of applying, the two last points, being consistent with the knowledge that we do know, and using common sense, logic, thinking about these choices, saying what are your advantages, what are you trying to achieve. Each and every day you're given a choice, and if you make a good choice, then you're going to improve your vitality and you're going to increase your longevity. I want to live to 120 and be just as vibrant as I am right now.
That's what I want to do. I want to grow older, but I still want to have the energy and
it can happen.
Get up and go.
But people won't believe it until they see it. But then by the time I'm 90, for a lot of people it might be too late.
Right.
So I'm saying, hey, just believe that it's happening. I need to walk and talk, the things that I talk about, the things that I believe. And once it starts to get together, you'll find that a lot more people will automatically, get on that bandwagon.
Well, Sherwood, see, and I said your name right. That was some really great information. You have added much knowledge to what I already knew, and you've definitely tweaked that for me, and I'm really happy to have you on as the new co-host.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Definitely, like I say, I'm easily to be attained, and wanted some questions. Like I say, I have the 3 websites now. So I have the SherwoodAgrant.com, the simpleandgood.net, and the new blog page, SherwoodAgrant.com/blog. So definitely feel free to connect with me in any way possible.
And you can also leave him a message on Xfox Talks, which is the fan page, as well. You're watching the YouTube channel now. You can go right down there to the little comment section and say, hey, that guy said something about spell. What was that apple called? That sugar apple? You can go right down there.
Exactly.
And he'll be checking that and getting back to you as well.
I will.
Well, I'm looking forward to embarking upon this 28-day cleanse, and we shall see. Now, one of the things that I've heard about cleanses, and I have done like colon cleanses and colonics and things before. I did a colonic. It's been a while now, but I probably lost about 3 pounds, and I had so much freaking energy. It was ridiculous. So now with your cleanse, the weight loss, what's the average weight loss on that?
Well, I think it depends on the individual. How toxic your body is, how much waste you have in your system. I will be having testimonials and pictures coming very shortly. Like I said, I just launched this about a month ago. So I got a good handful of people and even more that are definitely showing interest in implementing the program. So I know that people need to see these transitions. They need to hear about these transitions. So I'm gonna do my job in making sure that I get this out here, because I hate using the word cleanse. I'm really contemplating using a different word because sometimes that can be overused. But
detox.
I was thinking healing, for the most part. So I'm still up in the air. But When you think of cleanse, a lot of people think of you inhibiting. This is just a program about eating foods that you just never knew about, putting together recipes that no one ever told you about, and then utilizing some herbal, teas and dietary capsules or powders, and even just beauty products to be able to use on the outside to allow your body to heal itself. Because if you cut yourself right now, nothing you can do to stop your body from trying to heal itself. There's nothing you can do. If that happens on the external, it happens internally too all the time. Your cells want to heal. Your cells want to create a better inner you, but you have to give it the tools to do so. So I like to think of it like that. So with the cleanse, it does systematically. We're going to go through the colon, then the kidney and the bladder, then the liver. And it should be done in that order, because you don't want to loose up toxins in your liver and then you can't eliminate it through your colon, because it'll just recirculate in your blood and you get sick.
So now I have to ask, is this going to allow me to have a chocolate martini?
Oh, you know what? I say, hey, listen, if you want to do alcoholic beverages, kosher wine probably be the best choice.
Now see, wine puts me right to sleep.
Well, it depends. Like I say kosher wine would probably be the best choice. And your chocolate martini probably does the same thing too.
But it tastes so good going down. Okay, well, I definitely appreciate you coming on board with us, and I'm looking forward to everything that you're going to share with the Xavia Fox Talks viewers.
And we will get busy next time around, so we can start getting some activity and really get into the athletic portion of fitness. Like I say, I want to bridge that gap between health and fitness. So right now we got a good idea about the health and how fitness intertwine. Now we're going to, I look forward to being able to implement some things physically.
Well, that's a great thing. See, this time he told me that we weren't going to work out, so I just thought I would dress down and chill out, because this might be the last dress down and chill out. But next time I'll come in my workout gear so I can get over there and do some of the fun stuff, because working out is fun.
It is.
It is. I can't wait to be able to do a pull-up again.
Yeah.
I used to do those.
There you go.
But I can't pull anything up now. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in to Xavia Fox Talks. And
Foxy Loxy, I see you.
This girl, Miss Fox, thinks she gon' eat loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gon' smash it. With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X. X is good.